hello. Welcome to Circle of Fame. Today we have panel discussion number 6. And the topic which we will discuss today is mental health matters, strategies for resilience and emotional well-being.
I love that quote by Confucius. Life is simple, but we insist on making it hard. And I think we are insisting on making things way too hard. I think we should go back to a previous time when the mental health system that we currently operate with began and take a look at where it was broken from the beginning. I don't think we have so many mental health problems. I think we have a problem with our mental health system. And people, listen, everybody's got external problems, I call them. You got problems in your job and your career, your relationships, and then you react to those external problems and you have internal problems, negative emotions. But the real problem that causes your external problem in terms of the work I do is it's really how you see yourself and how you feel about yourself dictates how you show up and how you view and treat and judge other people. I think the real epidemic is judgment. I think that's our biggest problem. Everybody's judging everybody, and we've got three villains in my opinion. I think the mental health system is a villain. Social media, of course, as Chris said, is another villain. And the mental health system and the different ways that we go about it, the coaching industry, the self-help world, these Instagram so-called stars, et cetera, et cetera. And I think what we got to do is we got to take a look at what is the actual cause. Everybody's dealing with effects and band-aids. Let's go to the root cause of what's really causing the problem. And I think you can undo this stuff very, very quickly. But to Chris's point, I did a call the other day. I don't think there's very many people that I've met, adults or children, that are qualified to be on these phones, because it's very, very infectious out there right now. You have to have a very strong mindset.
We are living in a fast-moving world. What does it mean? To me, outside world is just the reflection of what we have inside. It means that we are changing. Our consciousness is changing rapidly. So we have something called autonomic nervous system in our body, and it has two branches. One is sympathetic nervous system, and the other one is parasympathetic nervous system. So sympathetic nervous system means that it keeps us on the survival mode. So what is survival mode? It is related to the reptilian mind that we have to survive, and it keeps us on our toes, and it keeps us on the fight or flight mode. So the stress hormones are high in our body, and we're all stressed out about things that might or might not happen. So that is the operation of sympathetic nervous system.
Yes, and I will usually do practical things, so I'm still going to talk about practical things. And some of the daily practices, among other things, to enhance emotional well-being are taking short breaks often and daily 30-minute walks. And the short breaks, they can just be like stretching, do something like that, or go get a glass of water, rehydrate. We talked as you talked about right now, or taking a few deep breaths, because in these moments your brain will have a rest and you can adjust to clear thinking again. And stress hormones go down when you take that break, and you will feel well and be more effective. The 30-minute walks are also a way to restore your brain, because you can think clearly while you use your muscles. So when you're doing things with your body, your brain is getting more straightened up again. And that's a gift from the evolution to help us to fight the animals on the savannah back then in the best way. So we could actually run to safety and not just run randomly, or to, if we needed to fight with the animals, to do the right things with your muscles, thinking, how can I do this? So you'd not be eaten.
Some of the early signs is not knowing that you have any stress. So what happened with me, my mother and father are Greek. My mother was dating a guy that didn't want children, so the first 2 children that she was pregnant with, he convinced her to abort them. I was the next child, and she decided not to abort me. My father then put me into an orphanage once I was born. But I want to take you back to when I was in that womb. My first experience of life, I didn't have any database of experiences of knowledge, but that was life.
Thank you. So why is mental health more important than ever? I think the answers are all around us, and the answers aren't only one. The answers are both on a macro scale, a personal scale, a micro scale, and a generational scale. Everyone is suffering from a variety of different reasons. The globe right now is at a serious inflection point where right now, for the first time that I can remember, the United States is looked at as an enemy of the world, and that terrifies me. I grew up proud as an American, and I've never been under the flag of an enemy nation. That is terrifying to me. me. On a personal level, social media is confusing every single person on the planet right now. Artificial intelligence is amplifying false information using bot technology, and we are all arguing with one another over stuff that we don't actually disagree on. Most of us are much closer to the center on everything, and there are where people are using manufactured arguments to get us to not understand one another. And these things are the most dangerous things in the world for our youth and our children, because what we have not realized yet in the digital age, in the new age, is that when people are young, they're very impressionable. It is how we learn. What we learn from a very core young age is what shapes our foundational beliefs and reality.
This all starts with attitude. And so for me, especially, it helped when I understood that I can embrace the challenges, and every challenge has something good. And I trained my mind to look for good in every problem. Every situation that I don't like, I don't even consider it as a problem anymore. After I shifted my mind, I just automatically look what is good in this.
Early signs of distress, I would say, especially if we talk about emotions, I would say it could actually be a case of seeing when do you tend to explode? When do you start feeling that you're so irritable? When do you feel like it's enough and you're shouting, or you're just angry or frustrated? Those are the moments when you can actually start saying like, okay, here you go. Something is wrong. Something is happening with me. Or if you have children, it's just so easy to see their behavior, to see the way they feel. If maybe they are, very frightened by something, or they are just sad or angry, or they are just misbehaving in general. Then again, that might be a sign that something emotionally is happening in their world. And it's really, really important to go and talk on their level, and even with yourself, and identify what's causing you.
Stress, it's not what happens to us. Basically, it's really how we respond to us. So when we practice, mindfulness and meditation, what happens? It helps us to get calmer, to get more focused, to are more in control, and it's independent from what life is throwing at us. So for me, and I used to be a big overthinker, what Doug described before in terms of overthinking, in terms of I was perfectionist. I was worried about the future, but I realized that it was a lot of waste of time and energy. And now, so in order to break this cycle, it's really how to take small steps. You talked about breathing, you talked about meditation. All this, when we do that consciously and we decide to really live in the present moment, this is what makes the difference.
In highly pressurized industries such as the construction industry, there are people who are doing all these activities of pulling together projects, and people who are closest to the sharp end do suffer when it comes to pressure on deadlines and accountability and so on.
For me, the takeaway is that I'm really inspired when you come across other people that are also in this area of helping, that have faced difficulties in life and overcome, or have examined life and come away with a takeaway. And my biggest takeaway for the world is that we are more powerful than we realize, and that once we can make that shift internally, then we can take that out to the world and help them. And I think the biggest thing that we can give to people is hope that your matter, what you do makes a difference, that it matters. Hope for people that what they see as missing is something that they can create themselves. And I think if we do all those things, we'll not only combat the mental health crisis, but we'll empower people that they can make a difference in this world.